Welcome back to Temporal Directive, the Star Trek fan podcast, rewatching the entire franchise in chronological order. I'm Gary.
And I'm Tom.
We are breaching our Temporal Directive to bring you this special extra episode. We are watching Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Wedding Bell Blues. Star Trek, the ultimate franchise. These are the podcasts of the Wakefield brothers. Their 16-year mission to watch every production, to seek out life lessons and new inspirations, to boldly watch like most fans have watched before. That's right, Strange New Worlds is back. So we are doing special bonus episodes each week to discuss the new ones. Fingers crossed we can catch up.
Hopefully.
And stay caught up. Hopefully life doesn't get too busy and you stay healthy.
Stay healthy. I need to get healthy before I can stay healthy.
Yes, that would also be good. Because we're doing these episodes as breach episodes now as they come out, we won't be revisiting them again when we get to them in chronological order because it's so close to the timeline that we're already doing. So unlike when we did Lower Decks, we will be doing our life lessons and IMDb scores while we go.
Yay.
And before we get into this week's episode, spoiler alert, we are going to spoil the shit out of this episode. So if you have not watched Season 3, Episode 2, Wedding Bell Blues, go and watch that now and then come back and join us for the recap.
Because you will learn everything.
We don't hold anything back.
Nope.
So this episode is called Wedding Bell Blues, written by Kirsten Beyer and David Reed, directed by Jordan Canning, her second Strange New Worlds directing gig after last season's episode Charades. She also did 12 episodes of Schitt's Creek, which I really like.
Oh, fuck yeah. I love that show.
Yeah. The original air date for this episode was July 17th, 2025, just a couple of weeks ago. And it aired the same night as the season premiere Hegemony Part 2. They aired back-to-back to launch the new season.
Nice.
The IMDb synopsis is: at a Federation celebration, an uninvited guest disrupts Spock and the crew's reflections. That's all.
Oh, okay, so the last one gave you everything.
This one gives you nothing.
This one gives you nothing.
Yeah.
Great. So the IMDb people are very, consistent.
All right, let's go watch it.
Okay.
I feel like the click is appropriate this week.
Yes, very much so. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what did you think of Wedding Bell Blues, Tom?
I enjoyed it. It was fun. Yeah,
It was.
It was very fun. It was good. After the last episode that's very sort of stress on edge, this is good. Yeah, it was a good one to have straight after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought so too. I loved Trelane, even though they didn't call him Trelane.
No. But you knew virtually...
He was Trelane.
Well, yeah. Well, I didn't sort of so much get Trelane straight away, but I got Q straight away. Like, as soon as he clicked...
How did you not get Trelane?
Well, why? Because it doesn't look like Trelane. Sorry, but he wasn't wearing the same blue outfit that he was in the original series.
There was an outfit that was pretty similar.
It was similar, but it wasn't exactly the same, was it? So, I didn't click straight away that would be Trelane. He clicked. And that made me think of Q instantly. So I knew he was a Q of some type. And, yeah, then as soon as you hear...
Tally ho!
Yeah. It's like, got it.
Yeah, it was fun to link Trelane and Q.
Yeah.
Even though they didn't say any of that.
Yeah.
The producers
and the writers, whatever, said that it is absolutely Trelane.
Yep.
And we're absolutely saying that Trelane is part of the Q continuum.
Yep.
Which was implied in the 1994 novel Q Squared. So they've made that novel kind of
a little bit more canon.
Yeah, that's
or
right.
At least the ideas of that.
At least nodded towards that. Yeah.
And it's such a good idea.
Yeah.
How can you not have, like, I had like a geek out moment of, you hear John Delancey. Fucking
me
hell.
too.
You giggle
Yeah.
like I was all like, "Whoa."
I think my response was,
yeah. I was like, oh, John Delancey.
and the bartender at the end was a Dosian, which is the first one we've seen in live action ever.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so that's the three-armed species that we saw in the animated series. They were also appeared in Lower Decks, but this is the first time we've ever seen them in live action, so that's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool, and maybe seeing more of them.
Yes, well, at least that one.
Yeah. Well, that's what I meant by them.
And I don't know if you picked up on the reference to the Twilight Zone in the episode.
No, I mustn't have.
Corby mentions that the wedding planner, or Trelane, told him that he would be sent to the cornfield, which is a reference to the Twilight Zone episode It's a Good Life, which is that episode where the kid sends people to the cornfield when he blinks them out of existence.
Yeah. No, I did not actually pick up on that at all.
Yeah. So that particular Twilight Zone episode was mentioned as the inspiration for the Star Trek-esque episode of Black Mirror, the USS Callister. So kind of full circle here.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
I love it when they do things like that.
Yeah, it's cool, isn't
fun,
it?
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to talk about before we get into it?
No, I think that's pretty much it. I think I've geeked out enough. John Delancey, Q's, Trelane. I think we're good.
Okay. All right. Good. Let's get into it. After the previously on segment, we open on a shot of the Enterprise hull with robots and crew members repairing and replacing damaged parts of the plating. There's a science officer's log as Spock tells us that the Enterprise has been at Starbase 1 for 3 months while being repaired. Bit of a time jump.
Yeah. I really do love seeing the little robots and stuff repairing things, and
it's cool.
Like adding that little element that we haven't seen like in the previous, but sort of never even hinted at, to be honest, in the previouses. But it's good to know that they are there because it's such a realistic element that would happen. Of course it would happen.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
While Spock is talking, we see him on his bed in his quarters. He continues talking as he moves around his quarters and says that the Centennial Federation Day is approaching and that Captain Pike is hosting a Federation Day gala, which will hopefully improve morale among the crew. He also says that Nurse Chapel is returning from her time away for the celebration, and he says that they haven't spoken since she left 3 months ago for her fellowship, and so he has more personal reasons to prepare for the upcoming celebrations. While he's holding up 2 uniform shirts in the mirror to see which one looks best, that look identical.
Yeah, no difference at all.
But very funny. We cut to a shot of the starbase. Ships are moving around, but the camera sort of floats towards one of the environmental domes and zooms through to the inside, and we arrive inside a bar or a restaurant or a reception area or something where there's some music playing, and Lan is there teaching Spock how to dance. She says he's a bit stiff, and he says he's measured precisely. She says you're meant to let it flow, not measure, and gives him an example. He tries, but he's still a bit stiff and too precise. They dance a bit more while they're talking, and Spock says that Lan's new approach to embracing life experiences suits her, and she has an aptitude for dancing that he didn't expect. Lan says that there was a time when all she wanted was to be a prima ballerina. That's actually true of the actress, I learned.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, she wanted to be a dancer but had an injury, so pivoted and focused on acting instead.
There you go. Nice.
Yeah. Spock says he assumes that the Gorn changed that goal for her, and she says that she's been waiting her whole life for them to come back, and they did. And she beat them. Spock says something about Vulcans as a rule do not dance. Lan says that it seems some of you will defy that rule for the right person, and he asks Lan if it's not tradition for a large romantic gesture after a period of separation. Something that Christine actually specifically said earlier, don't wait for me.
Yeah, don't do some big romantic gesture.
Exactly. Lan says that she doesn't want to pry, but she thought that they had decided to give each other some space, and he says, indeed, we haven't spoken since she left. Lan makes a comment about what absence does to the heart, and Spock makes a joke about the absence of a heart being quite fatal. She goes to explain, but realizes that he was joking. And they continue dancing, but are interrupted by Uhura over the comm, who says that Nurse Chapel has requested transport clearance to board. Spock excuses himself with a eager and excited look on his face as he walks out.
Ooh.
We cut to Spock checking his hair in a reflection on a computer panel in the transporter room. Scotty is where he belongs at the transporter controls,
which was fantastic. I was like, that's where he needs to be. That's exactly where he needs to be. I thought they might stick him in engineering straight away and just sort of forget it, but they didn't. As soon as he was in the transporter room, I'm like, yes.
Lan walks in, makes a comment about Spock looking good because he's checking his hair. She says she's there to do her job as Nurse Chapel has added someone to the visitor list. Scotty says he thought he saw some sort of strangeness just outside the hull, but it's gone. Scotty beams them on board. We have a close-up shot on Christine as they materialize, and she seems surprised to see Spock in the room. With her is Dr. Corby. Spock greets him and they shake hands enthusiastically. Spock says that he's read a large number of Corby's papers on archaeological medicine. Corby says, I'm sure there aren't that many. And Spock says, there are 234. Is that not accurate? Corby says that's exactly how many there are. Spock is holding a book, which Corby notices and asks if it's a first edition of Salvantor, which he grabs and is super impressed by it. Spock grabs it back and says, that's a gift for Christine. Lan interrupts and asks Dr. Corby if he'll be needing quarters. Christine gives Lan the what the fuck are you doing face.
What are you asking that in front of Spock for?
Fucking Spock is here. What are you doing?
Think about it.
He just sort of says, no, that's taken care of.
I'm good.
And Christine says he's here to celebrate the centennial celebration with me. Spock clarifies, with you? Christine says Dr. Corby is my date. Spock stares at Dr. Corby, back at Christine, and as the Vulcan music swells in drama, we cut to the opening credits.
So good.
Yeah. After the credits, we're in the gym with Erica Ortegas and her brother, who are boxing, giving each other shit. While they're fighting, a drone with a camera floats in and Erica is distracted by it and punches it and says that your job is a documentary of the Centennial Gala, not this workout. They're about to get back into the boxing when Uhura walks in and says, Erica, you are not going to believe this. Christine brought home a date. Like Gossip Girls much?
Yeah.
Erica's brother is staring at Uhura.
Instantly captivated.
Totally attracted to her. The girls say they're shocked that Chapel brought someone home, and when the brother says hi and starts to introduce himself, Erica punches him in the face. And he falls down. She tells Uhura that's her little brother, and Uhura says, hi, I'm Naoda. And they smile at each other. If you haven't guessed, this is the romantic comedy episode.
Yeah.
We cut to sickbay. Una is on a bio bed having bloods taken by a new nurse who apologizes for the time it has taken, and she says, take your time. With all the preparations I've got to do, this is the closest thing to a vacation I'm going to get. He says, "This is the last one, but I can take a bunch more. I mean, how much blood does a person really need?" She replies, "They didn't cover that in nursing school?" He responds, "Oof, I fell asleep, like, a lot." Una smiles. She says, "I like you, Ensign." He says that now that Nurse Chapel is back, that his temporary assignment is done. She says, "I wouldn't be so sure about that." And Dr. Mbenga comes over and says that he has requested to make his transfer permanent. They really sold in this scene the sense that he's really bonded with the crew already.
Yeah.
Like, he just sort of fit in. It was a really funny...
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was really good.
Yep.
It was
Yep,
great.
yep.
All three, like, he did feel like part of him already. It was good.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely. Una asks about Battelle, and the nurse says that the Gorn hatchlings have been reabsorbed, and Mbenga reiterates that it's because of Una's help that was possible. We cut to hairbrushes on a table.
Yep.
There's coffee and tea mugs with little Starfleet insignias on them. If you look real carefully, you'll see a Picard-style Earl Grey hot mug behind that.
Yep.
There's a little bowl with earrings and a comm badge in it. We hear Pike's voice before we see him, and he's talking about which medals he should wear and which ones he shouldn't wear. Captain Patel is on a couch talking to him while she's got a pad in her hand. Pike asks if she's shopping for a new starship, and she says that Admiral April has given her pick of the fleet, basically.
Yeah.
There are about a dozen commissions available, so she can pick one.
Yeah.
She says that whatever mission she takes, she'll never see him, and she talks about living on borrowed time, that she should be dead, and he's like...
You should tell me about it.
Yeah. I hear you.
Yeah.
Aren't we all?
Yeah. I literally got a clock running. Hang on.
But then she makes a joke about if they were to spend more time together, where would they keep their hair products? And then they kiss, and we cut to Spock's quarters. There's a shot from outside the hull through the window first, and we see Christine coming into Spock's quarters to return the book that he gave her. And he reiterates that it was a gift and says that before she left, she stated she wanted to be unattached. And now...
Yeah.
He's clearly upset, and she says that she doesn't understand it herself. It just kind of happened, I guess. Christine asks Spock if we're going to be okay. He looks away, and she says that they're having cocktails in the port galley tonight and hopes that he will come. As she walks out, in the window behind Spock, we see a face looking in.
Yep.
With a little musical cue. And we cut to the Enterprise hallway. Erica, her brother Beto, and Uhura are dressed up and heading towards the bar for a drink with the gang. Ortegas is saying, "One drink and then I have to go back and finish my training." Uhura tells Beto that he can hang with her if Erica leaves. Then Erica's like, no, you two together? No. This is no.
Yeah, because they're
madness.
flirty. Yeah.
No more flirting. No.
It's off limits. It's so good.
We cut to some of the crew sitting around in the bar in a group. Sam Kirk is there as well. And he's asking Dr. Corby about a dig that he was on Vadia 9 and asked if he ever climbed Mount Caleb. They talk about the climb on Mount Caleb being romantic, just as Spock kind of arrives. So good timing. The new nurse says, "Dr. Corby was about to tell us a romantic story."
Yeah.
And everyone in the group's like, no, don't worry about it. No, it's fine. Spock says, "No, I would like to hear it." Chapel says, "Okay," and then tells the story about how her mum had a saying, "I hope you find the sun and the moon and the stars," and that being her last words. And from the top of Mount Caleb, you can see the sun and the moon. And on her mum's birthday, even though she didn't say that it was her mum's birthday, he noticed her bad mood, and they walked up the mountain together. They looked out at the stunning sky, and he gave her a bracelet of Tellurian star gems, a super rare gem that looks like a little galaxy sort of hovering out of the gems.
Yeah. whole thing of stars.
Yeah. And he said that she looked sad and wanted to give you the sun, the moon, and the stars. They look at each other with love as Spock stares in a bit of shock and seems really uncomfortable and walks away to sit at the bar by himself.
Surprise, surprise.
Poor Spock. Poor heartbroken Spock.
Yeah.
We follow Spock and we see on the reflective surface of the bar a Vulcan bartender appear and say good evening. The camera cuts to the bartender and it's not the Vulcan we saw in the reflection, it's Trelane, although we don't call him that.
No.
Spock says, I was not aware we had a Vulcan bartender. He says he's only there temporarily, passing through, and asks if he wants another drink, something better, something that you definitely want. Spock says, yes, that would be fine. Trelane whips up a cocktail and tells Spock to swirl it around for the aroma and not to drink it too fast, it'll go right to your head. Spock takes a drink and seems to like it. We cut to Spock getting into bed, the lights fade, the camera moves, there is a click sound, and morning light is coming in, and we hear a voice say good morning. Spock opens his eyes, the camera pulls back and shows Chapel in bed with him smiling, and he says good morning back. She says that tonight there's no sleepover, it's bad luck to see your bride on the day of your wedding. They kiss and we cut to black for commercial. I thought that was a cool effect when it sort of went to bed at night and then...
Yep. Come out.
Yeah, because the way the camera moved, clearly, as the camera focused on him, she jumped into bed.
Yeah, that's right. Like, it was all done in one go.
Yeah, but it was a good take. It looked cool. It was a good effect. Anyway, we come back and we see the Starbase reception area in the middle of the waterfalls and gardens, and we hear Spock's science officer's log from the start of the episode.
Yeah.
He's repeating that it's been 3 months since their encounter with the Gorn, and instead of referring to the gala for the centennial celebration, he's saying that the crew is preparing to celebrate the wedding of himself and Christine.
Yeah.
We cut to Spock and Lana in their dance lesson again, and they're having a similar conversation as before, and Spock leaves to prepare for the rehearsal dinner. We cut to a shot of a pad that shows the wedding itinerary and the reflection of an Andorian checking his hair in the reflection. But then we cut back a little wider and we see that that's Trelane holding that.
Yeah.
So we know that he's appearing as an Andorian to everyone else.
Yeah. This time.
This time, not a Vulcan bartender this time. And he calls out to everyone that there is so much to do. He's the wedding planner, so he asks about the cake. But Christine asks where Roger is, as he's the best man. Roger appears rolling a little trolley. The wedding planner asks him to do a very special best man task, like wait way over there, quick as you can. Which he does, reluctantly.
Yeah, with a look of like frustration on his face.
I just love Trelane in this. He's so
he does
fun.
It so well, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Like, I like this guy anyway. Like, just in what he does. I can't remember his name, the actor's name. But he's brilliant. Like, I really like him. I think he's funny. So when he's playing this character, he just does it so well.
Yeah, he's cool. The wedding planner asks Spock to try some of the cake. Spock hates it. He says he wasn't expecting cake with so much heat and brine. The wedding planner does look a bit disappointed, but he takes the tray back over to the trolley, clicks his fingers, and the cake's changed to something that looks much more appealing. He takes them back to Spock and Christine, and she tries one this time, and she says she loves it. The wedding planner talks about some choreography for the entrance, something swirly and over the top, and then says that he has Christine's mother's flowers from her wedding. Apparently they'd been preserved since their wedding day. Christine's a bit emotional and excited. She opens them up and they're dead. They are so dead.
They are dry and horrible.
Yeah. The wedding planner says maybe they just need to breathe. Takes them away from everyone else, so he's sort of blocking the view of the flowers, and he clicks his fingers, and then the flowers come back to life. Christine looks so happy. Roger tries to talk to Christine, but the wedding planner gets in between and whisks her away for a final fitting of her dress before he can really say anything. The wedding planner says to Roger, please tell me you're not going to wear that jacket on the day, Corbs. And flounces off.
He does it so well.
It's so good. We cut to the Enterprise corridor. We see Roger Corby looking sus and breaking into Spock's quarters as Spock is just coming around the corner and seeing him do it. Spock holds back a moment, waits for Corby to enter his quarters, and then follows him in, asks what he's doing. He admits that he was trying to delete Spock's vows. Spock accuses him of trying to sabotage their wedding, and he says that Spock can't marry Christine. He says that reality has been changed and tries to explain that he and Christine arrived to celebrate the centennial. Spock says that he proposed 3 months ago and they planned the date to coincide. Corby keeps trying to explain the truth, but Spock is getting frustrated, and then Corby starts talking about the first time that him and Christine were romantic, and Spock punches him.
Yeah.
He falls on the bed and Spock sort of looks around and goes, oh no.
Yeah. Oh no. They're good, isn't it?
Yeah. And that's when we cut to black screen for commercial.
Yeah.
We come back and now Spock is lying on the bed next to Corby, who wakes up and sort of jumps up, and Spock says that he remembers the truth and that they've been considering possibilities on how this happened, a possible alternate dimension, but Corby has already checked his phase variance and there's no discrepancy. Was it exposure to environmental hallucinogen? He and Christine arrived at the same time, so they should both have been affected, or no one.
Yeah.
Corby thinks maybe an alien virus, but Spock says the biofilters have been recently upgraded. Spock says an improbability field, like the musical episode, that was an improbability field. Maybe. So they're not really sure.
I have no idea.
No idea. But Spock says he will not proceed with the wedding because he knows that it's not real.
Yeah.
Or shouldn't be happening.
Yeah.
Corby says that every time he's tried to stop the wedding, something has interfered. So Spock is asking, are you suggesting that there's a presence, an advanced intelligent life form that can alter reality? And he basically just says, yep. Yes.
Something is clearly stopping me from helping. Or stopping it, yeah.
So they decide they need to scan the ship, and they start to walk out to do that. But when the door opens, in comes a floating rack of suit jackets and the wedding planner. Oh, Mr. Corby! Doctor, you really are everywhere, aren't you? Bit like a rash. He makes a comment about Corby's appearance and changes tact to Spock, asking what he thinks of the suit jacket because it brings out his eyes. Spock says it'll be fine, and him and Corby leave to go and do the work. Cut to the new science lab again. Got to use that science lab.
That's it.
Got to build a new set.
Yep. Got to use it. Justify the money.
Exactly. Spock and Corby enter the science lab. They start the scan, and they speculate that the sudden burst of adrenaline when Spock punched Corby may have been what lifted the fog of the delusion. Perhaps the false reality cannot be held to direct scrutiny. We should communicate the situation to the captain. Just as Sam Kirk walks in with a drinks tray with a wine selection for tomorrow needing to be made. Spock tells Sam the truth about the wedding not being real and everything that's going on. Sam thinks he's crazy and that he's got cold feet.
Yeah, gotta smile. Everybody feels this way.
Spock then tries to get Sam to punch him, insulting him. You're not as smart as your brother, you're messy. But Sam won't do it. The computer says there are no anomalous readings. Spock holds for a moment and then says, perhaps the Chardonnay. Then we cut to doors opening with Spock and Corby coming into the captain's quarters. Pike is in the green wraparound uniform, which is cool.
It was awesome. I'm like, the wrap.
Yeah. They enter, but it's a bachelor party.
Yeah, good timing.
Yeah. They demand a speech. And so Spock tells them the truth of what's happening. Everyone stares at him, and Corby saves the moment by toasting Spock. They all take a drink, but Spock keeps trying to explain to Pike what's happening, but he's just not having it. Spock and Corby talk about how anger broke the spell before. Maybe only strong emotions like anger or love can break the spell. They realize that the person causing this may not be accounted for. So they may not be one of the registered guests or one of the crew. So they ask the computer how many people are on board that are not in one of those two groups, and there's one. They ask where he is, or like where they are.
Surprisingly.
And they locate them and leave. And Sam's like, "Where are you going? We were going to do karaoke."
Good to see Spock doing karaoke.
I will survive as long as I know how to love.
That'd be so good.
We cut to Spock and Corby arriving at the port galley with the wedding planner behind the bar mixing drinks. He tries to deflect the accusation that he is the one responsible for the change in reality, saying that Spock twirled into his office drunk on love, wishing for a wedding day full of joy. The word wish triggers Spock's memory, and he says, "You were the bartender, and I wished things could be different with Christine, and you made it so." The wedding planner says, "You're welcome." Spock says he won't go through with the wedding, and Corby tells the wedding planner to fix it. He can't just control people's minds. The wedding planner starts to get angry and raises his voice. "I can do anything I want. I am the wedding planner." He clicks his finger and the ship starts shaking. "I do not like it when people ruin my plans." He snaps his fingers again as we fade to black for a commercial. We come back to Spock on his bed. The camera pans back and the wedding planner is next to him on the bed, leaning on his elbows, saying, "Wakey, wakey, Mr. Spock, it's your big day." Spock says, you cannot make me go through with the wedding." And the wedding planner says, "Oh, can't I?" Snaps his finger and Spock is suddenly inside a water glass next to the bed, like tiny.
So good.
He tells Spock he needs to play along and then clicks him back to normal size, standing on the other side of the room. The wedding planner leaves, kind of dancing a little bit as we hear wedding bells. We cut to a moving fly-through of the environmental dome flying towards the venue as wedding music plays. The floating camera is moving through the crowd. Beto hovers it around Uhura for a moment, and Ortegas appears in dress uniform to chat with Uhura. Spock arrives and goes directly to Corby, saying he's been looking for him. Corby says that the wedding planner has made him the maid of honor, and if we don't play along, he's going to send us out to the cornfield. There's that Twilight Zone reference. Yep. Spock doesn't understand the reference, but Corby explains that he means he will wipe us from existence. "You're going to have to go through with this." Pike comes over to get Spock. It's time. Spock goes up to the altar and everyone stands as Christine appears in an elaborate green dress.
Yeah.
She walks down the aisle to meet Spock. The wedding planner, who is also the celebrant, starts to do a speech about love. Corby objects to the wedding, saying that he can't just make people feel things that they don't really feel. The wedding planner, angry, says, "That's it!" and clicks his finger, and Corby gets turned into a dog.
Yes.
Same costume, same headpiece,
just a dog.
and no one bats an eye.
That's it. Not a single person even goes, "Hang on a minute."
Nope. Sam was sitting next to Corby and is now holding the leash to the dog, but nothing. Nothing. Everyone just goes along. The wedding planner tells Spock to continue, and Spock quotes the poem that Corby talked about earlier, that Corby told Christine that
the sun,
the moon, and all that stuff.
And as soon as he does,
she realizes what's going on.
Yeah.
The veil is lifted on her as well. So she starts to get upset. Spock confirms what she's saying, that this isn't reality. She leaves the altar to go down to Roger the dog. But the wedding planner is pissed off and starts telling everyone that they're going to die, except for the well-dressed ones in the blue. But as he's yelling and threatening everything, there's a blue energy ball light that comes through and starts hovering above them. And the energy being, with John Delancey's unmistakable voice,
so fucking good,
demands, "What is this?" Everyone stands, and the wedding planner seems to be sort of like annoyed or caught out.
Crap.
Yeah. And he sort of turns to face the energy ball and says, Not now, Dad. The energy being says that he's done enough, and suddenly Roger Corby is restored to a person. And the wedding planner says, but they're not playing along. They're not listening to me. And the energy being says, and you are not listening to me. He says that the wedding planner is just a child, a very young 8,000 Earth years.
Yeah.
8,020, Dad. And the energy being said, or Q, says it's time to go. Spock asks the wedding planner before he leaves, why? He says, look at him, points to Corby. I spotted him digging in the dirt on the old homeworld. He's just so handsome and smart and perfect. It's annoying. And Spock says, yes, that does make sense.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Two things. That's silly. But the second thing, homeworld?
I know, right?
The Q homeworld?
Yes, it must be the Q homeworld.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Q tells him to free the rest of them, and he snaps his finger, and everyone looks around like, what the
holy
fuck
shit
is happening? Trelane says, tally ho, and turns into a ball of energy himself, and they fly off together, leaving a bunch of confused and unsure people standing around dressed up. Pike jumps up the front and does what Pike does, and does a little speech about Federation Day, and that the awkwardness of this encounter seems appropriate for the occasion.
Yeah. New
and
species.
that the bar is open.
Yeah.
We cut to a little bit later in the night, and there's an Endosian bartender making drinks with the three arms, chatting with Scotty and Mbenga. We cut to Christine and Corby talking about what happened. They decide to dance, head off to the dance floor. We go back to the bartender. Pike and Una are recruiting the bartender for the Enterprise, but giving really weird kind of like, you want to come back for a threesome vibes.
Oh, I know, right? It was very much like that. They're like, are you thinking what I'm thinking? I think I am B2.
It's really, really dodgy vibes. But anyway, the bartender says yes. So.
Yeah, that's right. They had some fun. I didn't realize that was part of the recruitment requirements.
Well, that's you do all sorts of things when you got three arms. We cut to Uhura and Beto. Uhura is bringing him a drink, and he says he's just had a very interesting conversation with the Chancellor of Starfleet's Public Relations, and that they may commission a feature-length documentary of Starfleet. They toast to annoying Erica. Cut to the dance floor, and Roger and Christine are slow dancing. Spock is sitting alone at a table, staring and looking a bit somber. Lan comes over and says that he made a beautiful speech. She tries to comfort him, and they talk about the dance lessons for a moment. And then the jitterbug comes on.
Yeah, of all things.
And everyone gets up to dance, including Lan and Spock. The only one who doesn't is Erica Ortegas, who puts her drink down and sort of hovers for a moment, long enough for Pike to notice that she's there, and he sort of watches her as she leaves early. And then we cut to the gym, and Erica is there punching the boxing bag. She stops and moves over to the window and looks at her reflection, and there's a moment where a Gorn appears behind her, screeching.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the episode.
Yeah.
So clearly we're going to get some PTSD stuff.
Yeah, which is a very common sort of thing in the Star Trek world, isn't it? Looking in the mirror and seeing a reflection of something that...
Is it?
Well, I seem to recall a lot of characters looking in a mirror and seeing something that, like, they remember. That's where their memories are all seen.
If you say so.
Well, Picard especially. Like, all the Borg stuff is...
Once.
Well, that was Picard, I think. Was it Seven that done a similar thing?
I don't know. Anyway,
I'm pretty sure it's a common thing. I didn't
it
think
happens in everything.
Well, that's probably everything. But anyway, yeah. I just feel like the PTSD thing's quite a common theme.
Okay. Sure, I guess. I don't think they've done it. Not really, not properly.
Well,
only in the old Star Trek when it was so episodic, it was like one episode.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Like
it.
Nog was upset for an episode when he lost his leg.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a good episode. It was a really good episode. Like I said at the start, it was very fun. I think it was a lift from the previous episode, and to have the links with the Qs and the Q homeworld, like you said there too as well. Like they did say that they started off like us, originally.
Yeah.
So obviously that's it. That's where they were. It's just interesting. It's good to get those little nuggets.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I just think it's cool that they linked Trelane and Q as well. I think that was cool. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a really good episode.
Yeah.
All right, life lesson.
Acceptance of reality, maybe. You can live in a fantasy all you want, but really you have to
Wake up to reality at some
wake up.
point.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the best lesson out of it. Yeah.
Sure. Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about IMDb ratings. Our examples of 1 episodes of Voyager's Threshold and Next Gen's Code of Honor. Examples of 10 episodes in Next Gen's Tapestry and Deep Space Nine's Far Beyond the Stars. What do you think we should rate Wedding Bell Blues?
I mean, overall it was pretty good, so I'd give it a pretty good mark. I'd say it was pretty well up there, so I'd go a 6 probably, or 7 again.
6 seems low.
Does it?
Yeah, I was thinking like a 7 or an 8.
Yeah, well, you see, I suppose we could go with a 7.
7?
Yeah,
All
go
right.
with a 7.
Let's do a 7.
I don't want to go as high as an 8 because I'm sort of grading it like I do with Enterprise and stuff too. Like,
Yeah,
it's
still
so-
part of the same franchise.
yeah, that's right. Like, so I, it's good. Yeah, so 7 is where I'll put it.
Cool. All right, 7 it is. All right. If you want to get in touch and join the conversation, you can find us on Facebook at Temporal Directive Podcast or on Instagram, just Temporal Directive, or you can email us at wakefield_productions@outlook.com. We'll be back with our regular episode on Friday. Live long and prosper.
Peace and long life.